If you have a Jaguar E-Type, today, Friday, just go and donate it to your local charity shop. Dave, you know those Triumphs and MGs that are left over from the auction? You should take him down to Geoff. I think he's going to the tip this afternoon. He'll do it for us. Dave, can you give Geoff the Escort at the same time as well? You're the white one with the red stripe. Geoff, make smaller spreadsheets. No, we need the data. Good morning. Strange angle for this video, but that doesn't matter because you're not going to need to see me. This is my review of the Restoration Show sale from Iconic Auctioneers. All you're going to see is my screen and the cars. I reckon this was a bit of a bloodbath, this auction. Okay, let's start with some top line figures, shall we? It's about 6 o'clock in the morning, which is why I look so tired. Right, we've got 176 lots to go through. Let's record my screen and we'll go straight from the top and we'll kick off with the Volkswagen Golf GTI, and we're going to run all the way down through this. I'll try and keep this brief because otherwise the video will be hours and hours long, but this was a very interesting auction. Let's go straight in at the top then with the Volkswagen Golf GTI 1988 barn find. It was estimated at 5,000 to 7,000 and it sells for just 2,250 quid. But there's another Golf later on that did really well, so I'm not going to dwell on that one. Lot 101, the Toyota MR2 makes 5,850 against an upper estimate of 5,000, so that one does well. And then another Mark II GTI 8 valve. This one goes for 6,525. Upper estimate on that was 7,000. So on the first row, we're not doing too badly. Then you've got this Toyota Land Cruiser, okay? Now, I thought this was going to do really well. Estimate is 15 to 18. Midpoint on that would be 16.5. I thought it was going to make 16, but it goes for 13.9. I just thought that vehicle looks like a whole lot of fun for that money. After the Land Cruiser, we've got this RS 1600. Now, it is a project, but the estimate on this was 15,000 to 18,000. I predicted that it was going to bid to 12,000, and bids on the day actually reached 11,500. So as you can see there, it says buy it now for 15,000, and you can acquire it. It goes unsold. The Ford Focus RS Mark II makes £27,000. Now that's about right for where it was estimated. So the Focus RS Mark II was estimated at 27 to 30. Bids reached 23. If you add on the fees for the auction, we reached 27, which is the lower estimate. That's how it works. Then you've got this one, right? This is an Aston Martin DB7 Coupe Series 1 manual. Estimate is 12,000 to 15,000, and bids only go as high as £9,500. He's out the auction at 10,687 quid for a DB7 manual. Why would you buy a Dacia? Now, MGBs. We've got some problems with MGBs, and it's the same old problem that I've been predicting for years now. There are far too many MGBs coming up for sale. This one doesn't do too badly. This is estimated 10 to 12, and it finishes at 13 on the hammer, 14.5 with the auction fees, but we're getting onto some MGB stuff later on. Daimler Sovereign 4.2, that does pretty well at £20,000 because that's just a really nice looking car, and obviously Harry Metcalf has one, which helps the values. Then, right, we need to talk also about these Bentley Brooklyns. So lot number 109. The Bentley Brooklyn Sports Saloon. You can lump this in with all of the other Bentleys of this shape and all of the Rolls Royces. So your Bentley Arnage, all of those sort of stuff. If you've got one on your driveway, it's worth £12,000. They're all worth £12,000. It's that simple. So this one, I predicted on my Geoffstimate section that it would make £12,000. Bidding goes up to £13,000 against an estimate of £14,000 to £18,000. So it sells below estimate at £14,800, including the fees, and lovely colour on that one. Another Golf here. This is a cabriolet this time. Estimate 4 to 5. Bidding stalls out at 2.8 with the fees. It sells at 3.1. And then you've got the Boxster 2.7986. Selling for £4,500 or £5,000 with the fees, and that's about right for what it was estimated against. The Land Rover makes 5,400 quid, and that was interesting because it came with a note saying it was broken. The electronic handbrake had failed on site. It was just quite amusing to watch that one go through. Now, I love this. Look, this is why I make these videos. We've got lot number 113. It now says sold for an undisclosed sum. I don't understand what they're trying to hide. Why Why are you putting an undisclosed sum on it? What's so secret about that? Everybody watched the auction and I wrote down what it bid to, so I can tell you. The estimate on the Peugeot was £2,000 to £3,000. It actually sold for £3,800. The bids reached £3,800. Now, I can only imagine, so that's going to be, you're not far off £4,500 with the fees. The only reason that I can think that they would hide that is because they want to hide the fact that a Peugeot 205 diesel did a lot better than some of the other shite that's coming up. Audi A6 Quattro Sport, estimate on that was 10 to 12. Bidding stalls out at 7,750, so that goes below reserve as well. And then this really nice looking Audi RS6 Quattro. We've got an estimate of 9 to 11. And it makes 8.5, so we're not far off on that, but that's a cool car, isn't it? Escort Mark III Cabriolet. Again, this is another interesting one. Estimate is 3 to 4. Bidding reach is 3.2, so call it 3.6. That's fairly cheap for an XR3 Cabriolet, but it does need a bit of work. The Citroen D Special, we all love these, obviously. The estimate is 10 to 12. Bidding finishes at 7.5, though, so not much bite out of that cherry. And that means 8,800 with the fees. So that went fairly cheap, I thought. Now, another very interesting one. TVR Kerberer Speed 6. Okay, look at this car. It's in a great colour. It's an iconic car. And I was just thinking, this is one of those cars that's going to do really well. It's estimated at 20 to 25. Now, I thought this was going to go above estimate. I don't know why. Maybe I was drinking on that day. Estimate 20 to 25. And I put down that I thought it would make 27. But actually, it only bid up to £15,000. It didn't even get anywhere near. And now, as you can see on the website here, it says buy it now for £20,000. So that one goes unsold. The Sunbeam Mark III Drophead Coupe, estimate is 3 to 5, and it reaches 6. So this one does really well. It goes above its estimate, which is strange because that sort of kicks back against everything I've been saying about 1950s cars. But it's a very attractive little vehicle, that is. Then you've got the Talbot Mark II Saloon Project. That only sells for £1,200 or £1,350 with the premium against an estimate of 2 to 4. So the drop head does well and the saloon doesn't. Then you got the minivan project, estimate 6 to 8, sells for 5.6. Jaguar Saloon Project, estimate 4 to 6, sells for 2.8. I'm talking hammer prices here. And then the 1967 Daimler Sovereign, that one, if I can find it on my spreadsheet, estimate is 4 to 6, and we knock it out at £2,000. Brilliant, nobody wants that. 1961 Austin van, estimate 12 to 15, goes to 14.5 on the hammer, and again, for some reason, they're saying it's an undisclosed sum. Not sure why on that one, but I saw the hammer reach £14,500. Morris Minor Deluxe, lot number 125, goes for £19,000 against an estimate of 13 to 16. So that one did really well. People clearly wanted that little Morris Minor Mini. The BMW New Class, I thought this would do well. Again, this is one where I thought, knowing everything I know, this one's going to fly. The estimate is 15,000 to 18,000. And I had predicted 19,000 on this car, but the bidding stalls out at £11,000 and it remains unsold. Make that make sense, because that's a lovely little thing. Then you've got one that I absolutely should have bought, the Mercedes-Benz E250 diesel W124, goes in with an estimate of just 4 to 5, and yeah, again, look, they've put sold for an undisclosed sum on it. It's because they're embarrassed. Bids only reached £2,400. Don't know what that was all about, but that was the one where I was sort of kicking myself for not being there in the room. BMW 635 CSI, here you go, another one that should have done really, really well. Estimate is 22 to 25, but bidding stalls out at 21, giving a sold price of 23. Now, I just would have thought that car would have gone a little bit higher. Next up, we've got lot number 129. These Jaguars are looking really popular at the moment. The estimate on this one was 6,000 to 8,000. It makes 7,500, which is 8,400 with the fees. People like these old Jags. Maybe Jaguar should actually listen to that. Then you've got another Bentley Turbo RL, and as you know, we just discussed Bentleys and Rolls Royces of this shape. It's worth £12,000. The estimate is 16 to 18. I predicted 12. Bidding reaches 13. It goes unsold, but you can buy it now for £17,850. which is £5,000 more than it's worth, because as you know, these are worth 12 grand. Then we've got the Leyland Princess. This was quite amusing to watch go through as well, with an estimate of 8,000 to 10,000, and people lose interest at 5,500. And again, look, it goes unsold, so it's got a buy it now on there of 8,650 quid. Sorry, nobody wants your 1978 Leyland Princess. Just gift it to the British Motor Museum at Gaydon. That's all you can do with that car. No one's interested. 1984 Ford Capri 2.8 injection, garage find, estimate 8 to 10, finishes at 10,750 or 12 with the fees. The Capris did pretty well in this auction. Another XR3 here. This one's estimated at 10 to 12. It's an XR3 TF. Bidding finishes at 7. But that's interesting. I've got that bidding finished at 7, but it's showing us sold at 11,250. So maybe there were shenanigans that went on after the auction. The Land Rover Defender 90, the ex-King Charles Land Rover Defender. It was estimated at 42 to 50, and it goes for 67,500. What a stupid buy, because most of the people who are coming up through the next generations, they're not the sort of people that are buying crockery based on royals, all right? They're not bothered. They understand that the question, what have the royals ever done for us, is actually a valid one. And King Charles has some very strange friendships that he really does need to explain. Now that all of the pro-royalist viewers have left the chat, we will carry on. Lot number 135 is a 1933 Morris commercial, pretty much bang on the estimate here. Estimate's 10 to 12, and it finishes up at 11. That is 10 on the hammer, 11 with the fees. Honda S2000 GT, lot number 136, estimate is 10 to 12. I thought that bidding would finish at 10. Bidding actually finished at 11.5. So, desirable little car, that. Final fee, £13,000. So that car did well. Then you've got this beautiful car, lot number 137, Toyota Celica GT4 WRC edition. This is a really cool car. I really like this. It's estimated at 15 to 18. Bids finish at 15, giving us a final sale price of 16,875. My prediction on that was 16,000 quid. So I thought it was going to go slightly higher than it did. Then the Ford Capri 2.8 injection. I think this is the one. There was a Capri where the bidding was really funny because one bloke really wanted it, and the auctioneer's on the rostrum going, can I take 500 anywhere, 500 anywhere? And some bloke just goes, boom, 5 grand. And he upped the bidding by 5 grand just because he wanted to wipe everybody else out. But I can't remember if it was this car. Anyway, this one is a trophy-winning 2.8 injection. I think it was the Brooklands, actually, which is the one to have, but we'll come to that in a minute. Lee, if you're watching, you need a Brooklands. Can you buy a Brooklands so I can drive it? The 2.8 injection, estimate 23 to 26, bidding finishes at 20, and it sells for 22.5. So no, that's not the one because it goes below estimate. Another Boxster here. This one does quite well. 10 to 12 on the estimate, and 9.6 on the hammer, 10,462 on the with the fees. Nice car, that. I mean, it's only 31,000 miles. So if you think how much a brand new Boxster would be, or any brand new Porsche, that looks like a really good buy. 1993 Mercedes-Benz 500 SL. We're on to lot number 140 now. That is estimated at 6 to 8. Bidding finishes at 6,700 quid with the premium. £6,700 for a really nice, I don't know if it's carnelian red, I can't remember the name of the colour. But, speaking of royals, get all the pro-royal people back in the chat. That's the same colour that Princess Diana had hers in before the British government lent on her and said she wasn't allowed to drive a German car. So there you go, little tidbit for you. Jaguar E-Type V12. Right, what have we got here? The estimate's 45 to 55. And bang on Geoff's prediction, I predicted that this would reach 35. So I went £10,000 below the lower estimate, and sure enough, bidding finishes at 36, which means it sells for £40,500, which is £5,000 beneath the lower estimate. If you have a Jaguar E-Type today, Friday, just go and donate it to your local charity shop. Right, Minis. Minis have been doing pretty well across auctions recently. This is lot number 142. 96 Rover Mini. Where are we at? Estimate was 10 to 12, and it goes for, the bidding finishes at 8.3, giving us 9.9 with the premium. So pretty much bang on that Mini. And then this Clio Sport is nice. Another one sold for an undisclosed sum, and I think it's because they're trying to hide what cars did or didn't sell for. I don't understand it. It's a public auction. Just be honest with us. If someone from Iconic is watching, just explain to us why you do that. We all saw what it bid to. We can guess roughly where the sale price ended up. Because on this one, the estimate's 10 to 12. Bidding finishes at 7.9. So I'm going to guess that the sale price on this car ended up somewhere around 9,000 quid. Just post it up on there. Right, the Rover SD1 Series 1 manual. Again, nobody wants these either. Estimated at 6 to 8, finishes the bidding at 4,002 and sells for 4,700 quid, £2,000 below the lower estimate. Coming to the end of page 1 on my detailed spreadsheet. I actually love making these videos, so I do hope you enjoy watching them as much as I enjoy making them, because even if you don't watch them, I'll still make them. Then you've got this 2009 Jaguar XJ. These cars are looking good, and it does all right, but it's not quite where it needed to be. Estimate was 8 to 10. Bidding finishes at 7.8, sells for 8.7. That is... I don't particularly like that one with the sport bumper on it, but that shaped Jaguar is one of the finest looking saloon cars you can buy. Next up, lot number 146 is the Mercedes 560 SEC. This one doesn't really get near its estimate either, but they're quite hard cars to price because the Mercedes-Benz 560s, lots of them ended up with 200,000 miles on the clock, parked semi-abandoned on petrol forecourts in places like Smethwick. They just did. Go and have a drive through Smethwick, right, down by Junction 2 of the M5. Have a drive around there. You will find petrol stations with cars parked outside that look abandoned, and I guarantee you'll find a W126 coupe. For at least one of them. Anyway, this one's a nice one. It's estimated at 35 to 40, but bidding stalls out at 27, which, if you're interested, is exactly what I predicted. So it's unsold, and it's on a buy it now for £34,000. I'll tell you a little tidbit about these Mercedes 560s as well. At the time, if you compare the price of them like for like, they were more expensive than a Ferrari Testarossa. So you're buying a car that back in the day was more expensive than a Testarossa for less than a third of the price of a Testarossa today. Right, now, this is the one everybody was interested in. This is the 5,000 mile Ford Escort RS Turbo Series 2, lot number 147. It's finished in red, 5,673 miles only. Estimate is 45,000 to 55,000. I predicted that bidding would stall out at 38,000, but it didn't. Bidding reached £45,000, giving us a sale price of £50,000 for a Ford Escort RS Turbo Series 2. And for another video that I've got coming up over the coming days, I've got some Max Power magazines, and we're going to go see how much they were in the classifieds in the back of Max Power back in the day. Another fast Ford here, Sierra RS 500. This one is estimated at 50 to 60, and it does very well indeed. £66,500 was the final bid, giving a sale price of £74,000 on the RS 500. So some of these fast Fords are still doing really well. The Clio Williams Phase 1, a couple of these in the auction. This one was estimated at 20 to 25. It falls bang in the middle with bids finishing at 22.5, 25,000 with the premium. If you're looking for a Renault Clio Williams, speak to my friend Richard from Wizard Sports and Classics, because he knows where they all are. Then you've got a 1987 Porsche 944 S1. Estimate on this is 17 to 20,000 pounds. Bidding reaches 17.5, so we're pretty much bang on there, and that sells for just under 20,000 pounds. Then lot 151, 2002 Alfa Romeo Spider 916. Estimate is 10 to 12, and I was wrong on this one. I actually said that the bidding would stall out at 8. Bidding goes on to 9.5, giving a final sale price of 10. This lot number 152, you gotta love lot number 152. It's just lovely. Suzuki SC100 GX, 19,000 miles only. Estimate is 8 to 10. I said that bidding would reach 9 because I looked at the pictures and just thought, wow, that's a lovely thing. But bidding stalls out at 6,100, so it sells below the estimate at £6,862 for a tax and MOT exempt, super rare little Suzuki. If you bought that car, do get in touch. And the next one, actually, because I'm guessing similar people like this car. This is one of my favourites from the auction. This is a 1985 Fiat Strada Abarth 130 TC. You just never ever see cars like this. It was estimated at 18 to 22 and bidding finishes at 18. Sale price is £20,250. That is a lovely car, fully restored, and I bet they spent more than £20,000 on the restoration. Well done. If you bought either lot 152 or 153, I'd love you to reach out. Also, lot 154, which is over the page. We've finished the first page. Oh, it's cold in the car this morning. Right. Geoff's changed his page. Fiat Uno Turbo. I mean, who doesn't like a Fiat Uno Turbo? These are just cool. It's estimated at 20 to 25. The hammer falls at 27. And that gives us a sale price of 30. I have to eat my hat on that one because I thought that was going to finish at 15. So I was way off. I underestimated just how cool people think the Uno Turbo is. And I was also wrong on the next one, which is the Escort Harrier LE. This was estimated at 15 to 18. Bidding finishes at 19. Sale price 21. I had guessed 14 on that one as well. So I was way off on both of those two. Then you've got this 1971 Lotus 7 S4 twin cam garage find. Estimate 8 to 12. And that goes for 15. Giving 16,875 on the, I don't understand. I must be missing something with that one. One of my favourite cars from the auction is this one here, which is a 1996 Porsche 911 993 Carrera S. Let me know if you agree with me that that for me is, other than a 930 with the big whale tail on it, that is just peak Porsche. I love this car, and I knew it would do well, but I didn't know it would do as well as it did. The estimate was 50 to 60,000 pounds. I thought that we would get to £58,000 on it. Bidding kept going all the way up to £82,000. Sale price £92,250. That car did really well against its estimate. It's one of the best performing cars against estimate. Lot number 158 is a BMW M3 Evolution convertible. I won't tell you the story about how I ended up with one of these after doing a trade with the BMW 530D, but the gearbox was on the way out and I'd sold it to a trader. We went to deliver it to Telford, hit horrendous traffic that was stop-start. I figured if we stayed in the stop-start traffic, the car would definitely blow its clutch. So we didn't put the hazard lights in, go down the hard shoulder for 4 miles. I know that's dangerous. Good job we never did it. The estimate was 10 to 12. Bidding reaches 12.5, so it goes above estimate and sells for 14 with the premium. Now, this one, right, I thought this would do well. Lot number 159, Subaru Impreza WRX. It is estimated at 10 to 15. We've been seeing these cars do quite well. I thought the bidding would go to 12. Bidding finishes at 8. It's now on a buy it now for 9,200 quid. That's a nice car for the money. Isn't an estate though. Not that the Subaru Impreza estate is really a proper estate, because they're not, are they? They're not that big. You can tear me down in the comments, but you all know I'm a Volvo man. Right, from there on, we move to the Porsche Carrera 3.2 Targa Sport. And again, you would think if the other Porsche has just done really well, you'd expect this to do the same. But estimate 50 to 60, bids only up to 44. And it sells at 49, which is below the lower estimate, even with the fees. Somebody make that make sense. I thought that looked a lovely car. Lot number 161, Caterham 7 K-Series. Can't pretend to know much about these cars. Sells for £11,000. 1968 Morris Minor Ford Crossflow 1700. I thought this car is a heap that nobody was going to be interested in. The estimate was 12 to 15. And it reached 11, selling for 12,375. So we are below estimate on that one. We'll skip the Volkswagen California because I'm not interested. It's not a real camper van. I've got one of them. Then you've got BMW Z4 Roadster, estimate 5 to 6, goes for 6,750. Does quite well. It's a low mileage car though, 28,000 miles. And then another M635, another 6 Series BMW. Estimate on this one was 55 to 65. Bidding finishes at 51, giving us a sale price of 57. Nice looking car that, and it's brown. And you know I like a brown car because I've got 4 of them. Then you've got another Mini. This one didn't do so well. So the estimate on this was 28 to 32. Bidding finished at 21 and it goes unsold. Chevrolet Camaro, lot number 167. Trying to speed the auction up a bit now. We've been on for ages. Chevrolet Camaro 167, estimate was 20 to 25. Top bid on this. This is funny. Is this real? Have I got this right? Nobody buys American cars in British auctions. If you've got an American car in a British auction, withdraw it right now, because it's frankly embarrassing, because this keeps happening. The estimate on this Camaro is 20 to 25,000 pounds, and the top bid on the day, 9 grand. So it says sold for an undisclosed sum. So I'm guessing they settled somewhere around 16, 17,000 quid. I really like this next one though. This is lot number 168, 1953 Dodge Meadowhawk, 4-door saloon. If you're looking for an American car and you live in the UK, a really good place to go shopping is in car auctions, because nobody buys American cars in car auctions. Look at this. This has got an estimate of 12 to 15, and the hammer finishes. Interesting. I think I've got an error on my spreadsheet there. I've got that the hammer finished at £9,000, but it's showing us sold at 5,875 quid. The lower estimate is 12 and it sells for 6. If you bought that car, please get in touch. I'd love to drive it for a video. Morris Minor, not really interested. There's too many of them around. 12,000 to 15 on the estimate, sells for 13.5. Volvo P1800, this one also should have done better. Estimate on lot number 170, the P1800E, 25 to 30. Bidding finishes at 18.5. Why is it showing us sold at 17,750 then? Something interesting has gone on there, hasn't it? Because I've got the upper bid is above what it's sold for. This is what's fun about watching the auction on the day and recording the results, you see, because you get all the info. Ford RS 1600, lot number 171. Estimate's 30 to 35 and bidding finishes at 24, reaching a sale price of 27. So we're a bit low against the estimate on the RS 1600. And then this Citroen 2CV, I don't understand why these are so expensive. Estimate's 13 to 16, it reaches 13, sale price of 14,625. And then a Ford Mustang. Let's see what happened here. Well, I can tell you. If you've got an American car and it's in a British auction, nobody buys them. So this Ford Mustang goes into the auction with an estimate of 18 to 22. Bidding finishes at 16.5. I'm guessing they sold that car for about 17 grand. And part of the reason as well they have to put sold with an undisclosed sum is it will bump the actual sales value of cars that are for sale online down, because it works the same way as what they're doing with Auto Trader. With Auto Trader, if you've got 10 cars for sale at all the same price, but you put one of them for sale at £200,000, everybody thinks that these ones are cheap. And it's the other way around. If everybody's got their Mustangs for sale on Car and Classic for £40,000, and then they see that one just went through an auction at £17,000, it's going to give all those American car owners in the UK heart attacks, and they're going to have to put their cars in auctions, which we know doesn't work. But if you're looking to buy an American car, I've got a great place that you can find them. Lot number 174 is another BMW M3 E36 Evolution convertible. Estimate on this one 20 to 25. Bidding finishes at 15. Doesn't sell. Buy it now for £19,000. I once had one of those. It looked exactly like that, but it was a 1.8. Someone had done it up with all the M3 kit, and it was an automatic, so it was slow as hell. But I picked it up in Cornwall, went down to Falmouth on a sunny weekend, and I drove around with a girl with a bikini on. It was brilliant. It's well worth 1,500 quid. 1979 Mini Pickup GT D40. I don't know why anybody bought this car. You tell me. Ladder frame, 250 horsepower, front small block V8, 5-speed gearbox, rose joints, coilovers, topped by most of a Mini Countryman. Unique V8 pickup truck is rather special, but you can't do anything with it, and everybody realised that, which is why bidding only reached 21 against the lower estimate of 30. It goes unsold, but if you want it, you can have it for 28. Another Bedford CA pickup here does 8,333. Oh, look, the number 33 is following me around. 8,333, that one finishes at. Bidding reached 6,800. Estimate was 8 to 10. Nice looking thing, actually. And you'd probably be, in fact, if you're looking for a commercial vehicle to use in London and you can't afford a new EV and you don't want to pay the ULEZ fines, that would have been perfect. You could just run around London in that, not pay the ULEZ, have very cheap insurance, and it's only 8,300 quid. Same here with the 88 Austin Metro City van. That's not road tax exempt, so there's not much point with that. So this is estimated at 4 to 5, goes for 3.7. No one's really bothered, but I like the roof rack. If you bought that car and you're selling that roof rack, get in touch. £4,162 on that one. Right, an MG TD Mark II. I like this car. This is a nice looking car, but nobody was bothered on the day. Estimate 12 to 15. Bidding finishes at 10 and it goes unsold. Then you've got this Morris Oxford flat nose. Right, this is hilarious as well. Look, it also says sold for an undisclosed sum because it was given away free with a coffee and a donut. The estimate on this one was 6,000 to 8,000. So midpoint, it should have sold for 7 grand. Bidding finished at 2,700 quid. 2,700 quid. So I suspect that was, like I said, given away with a coffee. Now, this Toyota MR2, lot number 180. I love it. What a great looking car. Estimates 10 to 12. Bidding finishes at 9.7. Sale price 10.9. Lovely looking car. I should have texted Richard from Challenger Road and persuaded him to buy that. But I was busy trying to persuade him to buy the Mitsubishi Lancer Estate that we're coming up to later on, and it went cheap. So Richard, you should have bought it. Right, 1962 MGB Roadster. Here we are beginning with the problems with MGs, and wait until you see how many are in the Anglia Classic Car Auctioneers Sale. If you've got either an American car or an MGB, visit your local charity shop and hand over the keys, because that's where we're at with MG values right now. Let's look at this one. 1962 MGB Roadster Mark 1. Estimate 10 to 12. Bidding finishes at 8. It goes unsold. 1968 MGC GT Sebring replica project. Problem is, right, all the people that are interested in building an MG Sebring replica are in nursing homes and no longer able to use their hands. So we've got an estimate of 10 to 12, and bidding finishes at 7.5, and it sells for 8.4. If you bought that car, do get in touch. I'd like to help you with it, because I assume that you're finding the restoration tricky. Right, this is probably the best performing one in the auction now. This is a Renault 5 GT Turbo, Max Power Magazine video, coming up very soon. And then we've also got a 205 GTI next to that as well. So hot hatches, here we go. The Renault 5, estimated at 15 to 20, bidding finishes at 23, sale price of £25,000. Ali G, eat your heart out. But that's cool, that is. That's a very cool little car, because most of them were ruined by people like Ali G. Peugeot 205 1.6 litre, again, they've put on this undisclosed sum. And I wonder if that's because this one went a little cheap. The estimate was 13 to 16, but bidding finished at 10.8. Suspect that car was sold for £12,000, and they wouldn't want to publish that. Citroen D21 Dallas, lot number 185, 16,000 to 20,000, and bidding finishes right on the nose at £16,000, 18 grand with the premium. Another 911 here, and I think this looks extremely cheap. This is lot number 186, estimate 25 to 35, and it goes for 33. £37,000 for a 911 SC Sport. Maybe I just don't know my Porsche values well enough, but even though that went above its upper estimate, I thought that looked like a really good buy. And again, moving on, proving that I literally know nothing about classic car values, the 1970 Volkswagen Carmen Ghia Stanced Show winner. I'm not bothered about all this Stanced Show modified stuff. Estimate was 40 to 50, and I wrote down that I thought that car would fail at the bids at 20, but it made 37.5, so it sells for £42,000. There you go. I'm obviously out of touch with Volkswagen values. Golf GTI Mark 1, estimate 16 to 18, sells at £21,000, bid up to 18,700. And then this Land Rover didn't do very well either. This was embarrassing, which again is why they've got sold for an undisclosed sum on it. What's going on with Land Rover values? I thought this should have made loads of money, but the estimate's 18 to 22. I even put on my Geoff estimate that bidding would reach 18. Bidding only reached £11,500. So sold for an undisclosed sum means it was given away at 13 grand, which is way below the value that everybody thinks they're worth. That's all of my, that's just me guessing. 2012 Land Rover Defender 90 XS by Belgrave, 30 to 35 on the estimate. Bidding reaches 31, and that's 34 with the premium. Now, here's another funny one for you. The 1979 Mercedes-Benz 350 SL. Regular viewers of the channel will know that I do know a thing or two about Mercedes-Benz SLs. This is a 1979 model. The Mercedes-Benz SL ran from 1979 to 1986. So this is a first-year car, but although it's only 33,000 miles, it's the wrong colour, it's got the wrong wheels on it, and it's got the wrong front bumper. So back in the day, what they used to do, because the Mercedes SL had a key facelift in 1985, Late 85 onto 86, the final 3 years of production, they added the lower front bumper, like this one's got, the bigger wheels, and a few other styling tweaks. Now, someone's tried to make that car look newer than it is, which might have been cool back in the day, but in 2025 it's just stupid, which is why they've had to put sold for an undisclosed sum on it, because nobody wanted it. Estimate was 16 to 20 and bidding finished at 9.5. And I'd be willing to bet that that car sold for 10 grand. 1986 Austin Mini Mayfair, lot number 192. That was estimated 8 to 10 and it sells for 7,650. So we're a little bit low on that one. Bidding finished at £6,800. And then another one where I was about to say, I'd like you to contact me if you bought it, because I want to know why you bought it. And then I've just realised that it wasn't sold, which explains it. Toyota Land Cruiser X fire truck. Okay, it's cool, but what do you do with a Toyota Land Cruiser fire truck? Estimate was 8 to 10, bidding finished at 6.2, didn't sell, and they won 8.4 for it. Land Rover Defender 110 X Camel Trophy. Estimate was 15 to 20. Bidding actually finishes at 31. Is that right? Yeah, this one did really well, but unfortunately, Donald Trump has just destroyed the value of it by saying it can't go to the USA. So £34,000 on a diesel Camel Trophy Defender. The thing is, a Camel Trophy... Oh, my laptop's fallen over. A Camel Trophy Defender will always be cool. They just will. Right, we're drawing to the end now of page 2. Are you still with me? Let me know if you're still with me in the comments at lot number 195 by saying, Jeff, I'm still with you at page 2. How much more have we got to go? Crikey, I need to find a better way to do this. We are halfway through though, to be fair. We're actually over halfway now. Escort RS Turbo here, another one, lot number 195. Estimate on this one is 8 to 12. Bidding finishes at 8, meaning it sells for 9, which looks good value. I mean, it needs a bit of recommissioning, but I'd have bought that instead of that low mileage one, because buying a really low mileage car is like, yeah, who is it that says this? It's like not sleeping with your wife to save her for the next person. 1972 Jaguar E-Type Series 3 V12. This one was free in a Kinder Egg, I think. Estimate was 20 to 25. Oh no, I'm wrong. The bidding reached 22 and it sold for 24. £24,000 for an E-Type V12 Coupe does sound cheap. I'll tell you what else went too cheap. Lot number 197, 1981 Talbot Matra Marina 2.2. I really like this car. Oddball, French, estimate 8 to 10, and it sells for 7,875 quid. That's a very cheap car. Lot number 198, I really like these as well. Renault 1916 valve. Supposed to be the only one left, I think, and that had an estimate of 8 to 10, but it only bid up to 5.2, giving a sale price of 5.8. But I suppose it's quite hard to price a car when they are just so rare. Another MGB Roadster here, absolutely bombing out, sold for an undisclosed sum. Whee! Let's have a look what that undisclosed sum was. Lot number 199, estimate was 8 to 10, bidding finished at 7. And when the seller phoned up and said, "Would you like it for 9?" the buyer went, "Nah, you're all right. I'll pick one up at Anglia Car Auctions next week. They're giving them away free with the catalogue." They actually will be. Wait until you see that video. Right, that's it. We're on page 2 now. I'm going over the page on the auction website. Sadly, not over the page on my spreadsheet, though. Jeff, make smaller spreadsheets. No, we need the data. Lot number 200, 1980 Triumph Dolomite Sprint. Where am I at on that one? Estimate 16 to 20 and bidding finishes at 14. There aren't enough people who remember having those as kids, so prices on these Triumphs are going to be dropping and they're going to start giving them away free. Anglia Classic Car Auctions, it's coming up next week. Lot number 201, 1976 Triumph TR7, estimate is 8 to 10, bidding finishes at 6. What did I just say? Sold for an undisclosed sum. Of course they were. Iconic Auctions, of course you're selling them for undisclosed sums. Dave, you know those Triumphs and MGs that are left over from the auction? You should take him down to Jeff. I think he's going to the tip this afternoon. He'll do it for us. 1976 Alfa Romeo Spider Veloce, lot number 202. Estimate 12 to 15, and it goes for £15,750. 1975 Ford Escort Mark 1 Mexico. Sold for an undisclosed sum. Dave, can you give Jeff the Escort at the same time as well? The white one with the red stripes. What happened to that? Let's have a look. Ford Escort Mexico, estimate was 35 to 40 and bidding finished at 28. I'd predicted 25, so I was way closer on what was actually going to happen than the auction house on that one. Lot number 204, Ferrari 456 GTA. This is green. It was never going to sell for any money. It just wasn't. Estimate is 30. The lower estimate is 30, and bidding only reaches 24, meaning it sells for £29,000. £29,000 for our Ferrari 456. I absolutely love it. In 2025, you can have a BMW 3 Series that will cost you 50 grand, or a Ferrari. That's where we're at. People just aren't brave enough to do it. That's the thing. Lot number 205, another SL, and another one that's been done up to look like a later model. This is a 1983. So again, it shouldn't have the big wheels. It shouldn't have the front bumper on it. And it looks to me like it's sitting pretty low as well. Estimate on that one is 10 to 12, and it ends up at £12,375. Put the correct wheels on them, please. Right, now we've got a Range Rover. Everybody loves a Range Rover. It's a 2-door, it's a 3.9, which means it's a V8. Estimate is 25 to 30. Bidding goes to 34.5. That's a lovely looking car. 38 with the premium. I like those. Nice buy. I mean, I'd never buy one for 40 grand because I'd probably buy 40 cars instead, but that's on you. Another one that I thought would do a lot better than it did here, lot number 207, BMW 502 3.2, one of only 12 right-hand drive cars destined for the UK, recently restored. Estimate is 15 to 18, and bidding finishes at 11. Sells for £12,375. That's a supercar for the money. Another Clio Williams coming up here, lot number 208. The details on this one, estimate 8 to 10. Bidding finishes at 7. A lot lower on that one, so it must not have been as good a car. 7,800 quid for a Clio Williams 2. What'll happen now is Richard from Wizard of Sports and Classics will WhatsApp me, and he'll say, here, you know, you said that Renault Clio Williams went cheap. Well, I think you'll find that chassis number XXX, and that was involved in XYZ. That's exactly what's going to happen. Richard, I look forward to your WhatsApp.
Morning. Yeah, thanks for sending that through. It looks to be a great daily driver car. Mileage is probably exactly where it should be on a car of that age. Condition looks to be okay. It looks to have been looked after. I've not seen it, obviously, but that's what they're worth at the moment in auctions. The auctions used to attract some crazy prices for collector stuff, but day-to-day stuff, auction prices are below retail and above trade. So that's pretty much where that one is. Hopefully someone will really enjoy it, which is the most important thing.
Lot number 209, Mini Cooper S, John Cooper Works. It's just not a classic. I just don't see it. Anyway, it's estimated at 12 to 15. Bidding finishes at 10, and it goes unsold. And then, yes, we're on to the third page. And if you look, right, it's 4 pages, but the fourth page is almost empty. So we're getting there, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting there. Let me know in the comments if you're still here at page 3. 1999 Honda Civic VTI. We knew this was going to sell for somewhere around 5 and 6 because we saw it in an auction just the other day, and you'll have seen that if you've been watching the Geoff Buys Cars channel. Estimate was 6 to 8 on this one. Bidding finishes at 5.5. Sale price of 6.1. 1986 Austin Mini City E Project, 3,375 quid. What was the estimate on that? 3,500, so we're about right on that. Mini, the Mini Sprite here, estimate was 5 to 7, but bidding finishes at 3.2, and it sells for oh, that's interesting. I've got that bidding finished at 3.2, but Iconic have got on their website that it sold for 3.1. So did the top bidder withdraw their bid? Don't know. Shenanigans. Lot number 213, Daimler Sovereign 4.2, fully restored. Estimate 6 to 8, sells for 6.7, including the fees. Lot number 214, Toyota MR2, nice looking car, estimated at 8 to 10. Bidding finishes at 5, and it sells for 5.6. You're way off on your estimate there, Iconic. Lot number 215, MG TD 1250 midget, nice looking car, estimate 12 to 15, and it goes bang on the upper estimate at £15,000. The next one though, I think looks an incredible bargain. You know how I just talked about the fact that we should all be driving around in Ferrari 456 GTs? Check this out. 2007 Aston Martin DB9 Volante convertible, £43,000, estimate 20 to 25, bidding finishes at 22, out the door at £25,000. What a lovely looking car for the money. And then we've got a lot number 217, a 2001 Bentley Arnage Red Label. And I can cover the price up and you tell me what you think it made, because I told you what these are worth earlier on. Remember, I said they're all worth £12,000 and it sells for £12,000, £12,717 to be precise, actually, which is £10,000 on the hammer. And it was green. It was a nice looking car. Right, now there's a really interesting one, lot number 218. This is a Porsche 911 2.7 litre side oil fill. And if you recognise this car, it's because you've seen it in another Geoff video. I did an auction video. I'll have to look back through and see which one it was, where this car went through unsold. They try again in the Iconic auction sale, and oh, interesting, it does sell. I didn't know that when I put my spreadsheet together. I'm just seeing this now. Ah, right, okay. So the estimate on this Porsche was £40,000 to £45,000. Bidding finishes at 33, and we get it sold at 37. £37,000 for a Porsche 911. So not only should we all be driving around in Ferrari 456 GTs, Bentley Arnages, and what was the other one I just said? Aston Martins. You might as well get yourself a 1972 Porsche instead of that Dacia Sandero you were going to buy. No, the Sandero is quite cheap, but I was going to say Ford Mondeo. I don't think you can buy a Ford Mondeo anymore though, can you? Everything has gone wrong in cars in 2025, hasn't it? Tell you what hasn't gone wrong, though. This 2001 Mercedes-Benz S320 sells for £2,800. I love those shape S-classes. And then you've got another Golf here that sells for £13,000, lot number 220. That's against an estimate of £10,000. So that does well. Top estimate is 10, goes for 12. Ford Focus RS Mark 1, lot number 221, estimated at 22 to 26, bidding finishes at 21, sells for 24, so about right on the estimate on that. And then you've got an MG RV8. There's actually no one in the country right now that wants an MG RV8 other than the guy that was bidding. I don't know why anyone would buy an MG RV8. It's a 30-year-old platform with a 20-year-old engine being sold. Do you know what I mean? It's just a stupid thing. I do not get it. They are, where was that at? It was estimated 18 to 22, and it was sold for £16,000 on the hammer, £17,000 in the room. I will say they do sound good though, but they're just not for me. There's better cars you can buy. Audi Quattro, lot number 223. We've seen these Audi Quattros doing well in other auctions. This one is estimated at 45 to 50. Bidding finishes at 40, sells for 45. Another Focus RS, it's the modern one. I ain't really interested in that. That goes pretty much bang on estimate. Lower estimate was 35, sells for 34 with the premium, so not far off. Mini Cooper S, prepared by HRCC. 4,000 to 6,000 on the estimate, sells for 5.8, so again not far off. I really like the Wrangler Sahara. Estimate on the Wrangler was 15 to 18, and it goes out the door for 12,937. Bargain. If you bought that car, get in touch. Saab 900 Turbo goes unsold, estimate 12 to 15, bidding only made it to 9. You can buy it now for 13.8 if you like. Porsche Boxer 3.2, strange colour. That's the same colour as my Volvo. What year is it? 2004. My Volvo that I'm just looking at there is a 96, and they're almost the same colour. Look, I'll show you a picture to break up the monotony of the auction video. This is me towing a trailer and carrying a roof rack. That sells for £10,687 against an estimate of 10 to 12, so pretty much bang on. Right, another American car. If you have an American car for sale in the UK, don't put it in an auction. If you're looking to buy an American car in the UK, go to an auction. This is a beautiful Cadillac Series 62 convertible. It's just fantastic. It's probably the best looking, most impressive, most imposing car in the sale. And because British people are so boring, nobody wants it. Estimate is 40 to 50 on this one. I told you the number 33 is following me around. Top bid on this car, £33,000 only. It goes unsold. You can buy it right now for £44,000. That thing is absolutely lovely. Why would you not want to smoke around in that? I would have that over any Aston Martin every day of the week. We've got a 1964 Jaguar E-Type Series 1, regretfully withdrawn, but you can find it at Oxfam. And then this one, I don't understand. Please, somebody in the comments, make this one make sense. Lot number 230, 1974 Aston Martin V8 Series 3 garage find, right? So it needs recommissioning. Estimates 25 to 30. On the hammer, 42.5. Sells for 47 grand. So somebody wanted the Aston Martin, but didn't want that Cadillac. What would you rather have? Here you go. Here they are side by side. Which one are you having? Let me know in the comments. Got another P1800 here that doesn't sell. That's on a buy it now for 21. Lower estimate was 20, but bidding only made it to 15 on that car, so we're way off on that one. Morgan plus 4. The Morgan didn't sell. 10 to 18,000 pounds was the estimate. See how that's a big broad range on the estimate, 10 to 18. It's not like they've gone 10 to 12 or 12 to 14. They've given it a big wide range, which basically says they've got no idea if it's going to sell or not. So that's interesting. Here's another one. Look, this is interesting. Estimate was 10 to 18, but it reached 10 but didn't sell. It's on a buy it now at 12.5. See, when you track these live auctions, you get the shenanigans. Lot number 234. Sorry, no, the other one is a Morgan Runabout. That didn't sell either, so we'll skip over that. Look, because lot number 234 is far more interesting, but it didn't sell. Make this make sense. This is a 1977 Porsche 911 2.7 Targa. 35 to 40 on the estimate. Bids reached 27, and it doesn't sell. Buy it now for £36,000. I think we should ban having reserves on auctions. Everything should just go in no reserve, because then that gives you the true value of the vehicle on the day. But the classic car industry couldn't do that, because it would just be really embarrassing when the coffee at the stand is selling for more money than 1970s MGs and Triumphs. Track car, M3. No, it's a 316. It sells for 10 grand. Is that good? Is that bad? I've no idea. Don't really do track cars. Lot number 236, Mercedes-Benz SL55 AMG F1. This car did well. Estimate 25 to 30. Bidding finishes at 29, so close to that upper estimate. £32,000 on that one. 493 horsepower, black with black wheels with the trim on it. 5.5 litre, 200,000 mile an hour car. Coming to a petrol station forecourt in Smethwick anytime soon. 1984 Austin Mini Mayfair, lot number 237, estimate 8 to 10, and it sells for 8.1 with the premium, so that's a bid of 7.2. And now here we have it. This is the Ford Capri Brooklands. Lee McMaster, can you buy this Capri, please? Well, no, it's not that you've got loads of money. It's just that I know that you're stupid with money, because you bought a £120,000 Porsche that's now worth 17 pence. What you need to do, Lee, is instead of changing that car for another EV or any other modern car, get yourself the Capri that you've always promised yourself and make it a Brooklands, because that's the best one. This one was an interesting auction because estimate 24 to 28, bidding made it to 27, but this is the car where, as I said, I was watching it, it got to 20 and a bloke just went 25 and upped it by £5,000, which I just really like that. That was great. Fiat 500L Abarth Tributo, estimate 8 to 10, bidding only makes it to 7.8, so it does sell at 8.7. Did you know that they now do an electric Fiat 500 Abarth? I didn't realise that. I saw one just the other day. The whole point with a Fiat 500 Abarth, the newer shape one, is that they pop and bang and they make a lot of noise and they're a whole load of fun. That doesn't translate when you make it electric, does it? Anyway, that's not this video. We'll do that another day. Lot number 240, Volkswagen Beetle, Herbie. Can everybody stop it, right? Nobody needs to make Herbie, Mr. Bean, or Only Fools and Horses vehicles. Sorry, Richard from Challenger Road. I know you've got an Only Fools and Horses vehicle, but it's been done to death. Just stop it. Anyway, apparently someone liked it, because that sold for £14,625, which is there or thereabouts on the estimate. Now, my car, lot number 241, my dream car, my actual dream car. I don't mean a Volvo. I don't mean a motorhome. I don't mean a brown vehicle. Lot number 241 is what I probably should have bought instead of my motorhome. It's a 1999 Porsche Carrera 4, and it's beautiful. It's a convertible. That is the exact Porsche that I would want. The estimate on this is only 10 to 12. Bidding finishes at 7.5, and it sells for 8.8. Again, that's another one that's got me sort of kicking myself, because I probably could have scraped that amount of money together by selling some cars, and then I'd have a 911 convertible. But then if the world collapses and the economy collapses, I won't be able to go anywhere. The timestamp on my phone, as I said that, was 33 minutes, 33 seconds. It's out of whack because my phone's done this in 2 videos, so your timestamp might be different. But as I said about the world collapsing, 33:33 was on the top of my screen. Wow, mate, that makes sense. Anyway, lot number 242 is the one that I tried to get Richard from Challenge the Road to buy. And Richard, I think maybe you still can. It is a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 4 GT wagon, estimate 25 to 30. Bidding finishes at 19, unsold. You can buy it, Richard, for £23,500. And I'm going to WhatsApp this to you and see if you'll buy it. Lot number 243, probably the most successful car in the auction. 1990 Volkswagen Golf GTI in the desirable oak green metallic. Oak green if it's a Volkswagen, olive green if it's a Volvo, 2 dark greens that are absolutely superb. And that goes for £37,000 against a lower estimate of 20 and an upper estimate of 25. So probably the best performing car in the auction. Then you got lot number 244, 1996, another Mercedes-Benz SL500, estimate 8 to 10, and it's out the door at 5,600 quid. You cannot buy a used Dacia Sandero that'll be any good for that money, and you could be running around in a convertible German V8 designed by Bruno Sacco and probably one of the finest built cars of the last 40 years. Brilliant. I like 2025 for some things, but not all things. Check the timestamps, not doing anything weird there. 1963 Alfa Romeo Giulia Spider 1600. That one is estimated 22 to 26, and it goes right in the middle. Sells for 28. Bentley Continental Flying Spur. Now, this is an interesting one because I thought cars like this were worth 12 grand, but apparently nobody wanted this one. Estimate on this was £6,500 to £12,000. It did need a bit of work, and it goes for 6 grand on the hammer. No, it doesn't. Again, this is an interesting one. Look at this. I saw the hammer reach £6,000 on this car, but the website have got it listed as sold for 5,800. So did the winning bidder go and look at the car and go, oof, no thanks? Is that what happened? Is that why it sold cheaper than what they claim it sold for? Then you've got a car that's withdrawn, 1990 Porsche 928, but then you've got a 928 that wasn't withdrawn, that doesn't sell. Buy it now for £24,000. Bidding on that one only made it up to 18, so not far off. And then MGB Roadster, sold for an undisclosed sum. Let's see what it bid to. The estimate was £10,000 to £12,000 on this car, and the upper bid was 7,500. And when the auctioneer said, anybody want to add another 500 on that? One of the chaps said, no, I'm going to buy a coffee instead. It's a better investment. So that's exactly what happened on the day. I don't know, I wasn't there. Lot number 250, Bentley T1. This was a good one as well. Estimate was 4 to 6. Bidding reaches 3,800, and they basically give it away at £4,500. Brilliant. Cheaper than a Dacia Sandero. The Rover P6 3,500 S. This is a nice looking car, but bidding only made it to 8, and I'm guessing the reserve was 10. No, the reserve was higher. Look, the buy it now on that is £11,500, so that goes unsold. Mini goes for 10,125 quid. Pretty much okay on the estimate. And then this Austin A30 race car. This was embarrassing. I actually made a note on this that said this was embarrassing because when it came to bids in the room, there was just tumbleweed. There might as well have been tumbleweed blowing through the NEC at that point. So nobody was interested in that car. 1999 Mercedes-Benz SL500. This is a lovely looking car, rare colour, beige interior, post facelift. Yeah, that's the one to have, and it goes for £13,500. Lot number 254, and that was against an estimate of 10 to 12. So that one did okay. Finished the bids at its upper estimate, but this one I thought would go for more money. Lot number 255, which is the 1959 Mercedes Ponton. 50s cars are just tricky, but that's a great car. That will actually work. Well appointed, late 50s Ponton, superbly restored throughout. Estimate on that one was 8 to 10, and the hammer fell at 10.5, 11 with the premium. Just looks like a lovely car for the money. Another Land Rover here that doesn't sell because Land Rover values for some reason seem to be crashing. The Land Rover Series 1, 20 to 25 was the estimate, and the bidding topped out at 15. What's going on with these? Do you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. Too many people have got them. Too many people have pulled these Land Rovers out of barns and restored them. And now there's more Land Rover classics than there are buyers. Also, it's going to be hampered by what's going on in the USA with Trump and sanctions, but we'll get into that another day. Rover P600 3500S Huntsman Edition. I want that just because it's called a Huntsman Edition. Estimate on that one is 8 to 10. Bidding finished at 6.5 and it sells for 7.3. Seems cheap. Another MGB Roadster here that's pretty much just been given away. 1972 chrome bumper, and that was estimated at 8 to 10. It was estimated at 8 to 10, and the hammer fell at £3,800. Don't worry, guys, you're only £5,200 off your lower estimate. 4,200 quid for that. And then this is the one that I thought was a good buy. Subaru Impreza Turbo Estate, lot number 259, sells for just 6,187 quid when the lower estimate was 7. Really weird. Again, that's one where I wish I'd been in the room to bid on that. That looked a good car. A couple more Mercedes here. We've got Mercedes-Benz 280 CE, estimate 4 to 6, sells at 3.1 on the hammer. And then the 190B Ponton, 4.6 and 2.9 on the hammer. Really low hammer prices on those Mercedes, but they both needed a bit of work. And then the 540 V8 manual BMW, bang on its upper estimate at £3,000. I mean, who doesn't want a V8 manual BMW? Everybody wants one of them. Nobody wants an MG. Then you got this Fiat Wham Special, right? This was really funny because I don't know what this is all about. I don't know why you're buying that. But the auctioneer opened the bids and he was like, anybody got £1,000? And again, it was total tumbleweed in the room. But somehow he managed to drag it up to 4,800 quid. 5,800 quid was the final bid. 6,000 with the premium. And then another Carrera Cabriolet Porsche, estimate 14 to 18, goes for 13 on the hammer. So now is a really good time to buy a Porsche 996. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of page 3. And don't worry, page 4 is only small. 1973 MGB GT, estimate is 10 to 12, finishes on the hammer at 9. Of course it does. Sold for an undisclosed sum. Again, like Iconics, why are you trying to hide the crash in 1970s British classic car values? 1972 Datsun 521 pickup, that's a lovely thing. 5 to 8 on the estimate, and it goes for 6.7, so bang in the middle. And then a 1949 Land Rover Series 1, estimate on that 18 to 24, and it's out the door at 19. Again, it's in line with what I've been saying about Land Rovers. Another Capri here, one for Lee. Lee, you can have this one for 8,250 quid because lot number 268 doesn't sell. It only got bid to 6.5 grand, and that didn't quite make the grade. Another 560 SEC here to end up on a petrol forecourt abandoned in Smethwick. The 560 SEC estimate was 12 to 15, but it only goes to 10. Sold for 11,250. Cheap car. Fully restored Escort RS Turbo Series 1. Another big ticket RS Turbo. The RS Turbo really is the star of the show at this one. Estimate 48 to 54, but bidding falls below the lower estimate at 46. So although we can say, oh, look at this, it sold for £51,000, it's below estimate. Then we're getting to the end here. They've got a BMW Z3, E36 Roadster, much cherished, well balanced, 1.9 litre, finished in gleaming alpine white. E36 Z3, yes. 1.9 litre Roadster, yes. Gleaming white, I'm out. £3,375 on that one against an estimate of 3 to 4, so about right. 2004 Porsche 911, this is another cheap 911, but it does need a little bit of work. Lot number 272, estimate 14 to 18, and the hammer falls at 9. Way below estimate. Cheap 911 for someone that. 1979 Mini Clubman GT Homage, estimate was 10 to 12, hammer falls at 7.5, and it sells for 9.1. Again, below estimate. Supercharged Range Rover, I mean, that's a risk if ever I saw one, but it does look fantastic. One of my picks of the auction, just because why not? 4,000 to 600 was the estimate, hammer falls at 2.8, and it sold for 3.1. Did it manage to make it out of the NEC? That's the question. If you bought that Range Rover, let me know if you made it home. Last couple now, because the video's gone way out the window. Lot number 275, Mercedes-Benz 190 2.5, UK supplied, but it's wearing the wrong wheels. If they put the right wheels on it, it would have made more money. The estimate on that one was 8 to 10, and the hammer falls at 5.5. Hammer would have done 7 with the right wheels on it. And lastly, a 2002 ABT Sportsline Audi TT Limited wide body, right? On my Geoff estimate for what this car would sell for, I think I got bored by this point, I just wrote 0. Who's buying that? It's absolutely fugly. but the estimate was 12 to 15, and someone bid £8,500 on it, securing the car for £9,562. So, realised at the end of the auction, the Geoff estimate was that the auction would make £2.2 million. If all cars had hit the midpoint of their estimate, the auction would have made £3.9 million, but actually, bids on the day reached £2.5 million. So, way off on the auction estimates. A fun auction to watch. I do have something to say. Oh, the camera's broken. I just want to address Iconics Auctions directly, actually. Switch the comments on your YouTube live feed. It will do two things. One, get you more subscribers because you're live for the whole day and everybody's chatting. And two, it will allow people to engage with you, and it will allow you to promote your auctions more because you'll attract an audience of people who just enjoy being keyboard warriors, chatting away in the comments, going, oh, that went for too much. Oh, that didn't go for much. Oh, I wish I'd bought that. And it's really fun. And it's like a social part of the auction scene. We get it with Anglia Classic Car Auctions, and the vibe there online is really good, even if you can't make it, because Anglia Classic Car Auctions are based on the moon. So there you go. That's my tips. That's my auction review. I hope you liked it. If you made it to the end of the video, let me know in the comments by saying, Geoff, I made it to the end of the video. And yeah, give me some feedback. Tell me what you would have bought. Tell me what you wouldn't have bought. But most importantly, did that Range Rover make it home? Thanks for watching.